Good morning, Susanne, Joy.
Good morning, Deborah, LeeAnn.
Oh my gosh, we're almost complete with this deep dive into the light being, the pillar of the School of Light, um, who has been named Truth Teller. And this week, we are going to talk about um, in her gene key profile, the purpose gene key, which is gene key 44. And that beautifully has to do with teamwork. I mean, how nice to bring that forward, and synarchy. And it is operating in a world that is filled with intolerance, which is the shadow. Um, and then we get to play and dance with the current pulse that we're recording this in, which is gene key 4. So I really love the fact that there's 444 going on here, which fours have a lot to do with change. Um, and that is about playing with, oh, wait, did I do the right thing? Yes, intolerance to understanding to forgiveness. So we're going to be playing with the gift of understanding and the gift of teamwork. And I misspoke because the shadow of the 44 is interference. So as we dive into these things, we want to focus on the light, yes. The gifts, yes. The acidic states as a direction, yes. And be informed and aware of and embracing what currently is, which is the fear state going on in the majority of humanity. So how do we transmute and play in this playground, Miss Susanne?
Ah, well, I love the fact that her purpose is the synarchy. And so it's really about raising that vibration so that your fractal family comes to play together. And with that, it's that unique ability when we get into that synarchy, we're playing in our gifts in harmony. It's like a concert where everybody is showing up in their unique gifts to share with the world. And so I really love holding that space of seeing that come to fruition, where each one of us is continually opening our hearts and dispelling the illusion that we're ever separate to begin with.
Right.
And this is about teamwork and play. I mean, this
Yeah.
whole thing is coming from not a hierarchy, right? This is more of a heterarchy. So there's this give and take of, okay, somebody is on point with sharing some of their gifts. And then when they feel that it's time from their heart to back away, then the next person comes in with sharing their gifts. So there's this beautiful like symphony. I always, when this key comes up, I always think of that image of the birds
Murmuration,
murmuration,
where they're
where
flying in that beautiful formation, and they don't know, they don't have a plan. Hey, by the way, in second number 4, we're going to go to the right, okay? I mean, and but it's also what I love about that shared leadership is it's like the geese, right? We
yes,
used to talk about the geese as being the lessons of leadership from geese. Is
yeah,
no one is always the one flying in the front.
exactly.
They do that for a while, they get tired, they drop to the back, somebody else comes up, and it's this constant um, support of keeping the formation together. Everybody has a role to play. So there's so beautiful. And what I really appreciate is between the teamwork and getting into the space of synarchy, which is where we are going to eventually go to, we get to the strength of that moves us into synarchy is the fact that we find our fractal family.
Right.
And I like how Richard Rudd, the writer and creator of the Gene Keys wisdom, well, he didn't create the wisdom, he channeled the wisdom, but he says it's like when you drop in and you're like, oh, I play strings. Oh, here's the string section. Great. We can all jam and we all get each other and we can all play off of each other because I'm in my space. I feel comfortable here. This is another reason for someone who has played it solo for so long to relax into being in community, to relax into being part of a fractal family where I feel like I'm seen and I'm heard and I'm valued, and I see and hear and value everyone. And together we create beautiful music, synergy, right? Yeah. To get to the synarchy though, where then all those fractal families come together,
right?
And they're going to be people that are playing something that I've never heard before. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like we can all like relax into still doing what we're here to do and allowing everybody to do what they're here to do.
Yeah.
Versus oh, that sounds horrible. I don't like that.
Right. You be you and I be me, and it's all great.
Absolutely.
Team.
Yeah. So, and we are better at being ourselves. You are better at being yourself when we play together.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like, I love that saying of unlocking each other's genius. Together, there's a stronger than, it's not just 1 + 1 is 2. It's 1 + 1 = 3,
Yeah. And I really appreciate this light being just showing up right in this timing, because it feels, well, when I think of fours, so we have 44 and then we have the 4, I think of groundedness. I think of like a house, the pillars of a house, right? So I feel like it's anchoring what the School of Light here is providing as a haven.
During I love that.
During the great change.
I think of it as being strong. Well, pillars as being the foundation that holds up,
right,
even during the intense storms, right? Keeps the roof on, even when things are, because to me, the 4s have traditionally been a change. We're moving into the next thing. If you think about that, our year is broken up into 4 seasons, and
that's interesting. And I think of 5s as change.
Well, it is. It's in that 4 or 5s, but I mean, it's in those middle numbers. But if you look at the way the number 4 is written, it's got that triangle in it, and that has always been a sign of the delta, the shift, the transformation.
Huh.
So we need to put our 2 concepts together. We need that strengthened foundation and something that we can hold on to. I imagine like on the ships that you always see, there's somebody like holding on to the big tall mast, as the storm is like doing this to the boat, and we don't have very much right now, because more and more of what we thought, whether it would be religion or sometimes a relationship or a role that we were playing or thought patterns that kept us feeling safe, all those are stripped away now. And now it's like, oh geez, who am I? Where are we going? Everything is new. And I knew this was going to have a play, and I wasn't sure where. Yesterday, I attended a workshop by a bunch of leadership development folks, but it was put on by somebody who is part of, and I love this, she calls it the collaboratory. So it's like collaboration laboratory. And they do a program called People Need People. And in it, they tell like this story of this woman whose life has gone upside down, and she just tells all the bizarre things that have happened since 2024 began, and nothing is tied together. There's no meaning made around it. She's basically just giving you the facts, and then afterwards we're put into breakout groups, and there's a question that we're all supposed to answer, and that is, what is going on. And it was funny because everybody took it from different directions. And then they gave us parameters, like this group is to speak about art, science, and politics. So I would drop in and go, art, science, politics. And then, but the whole thing about what is going on, every time I would drop in until the last group where I was with pretty heady people, everybody was like, we have no idea. We're being reprogrammed. We don't have a clue. It's almost absurd. I use the example of feeling like we're on a Netflix show, and we don't know if we're going to be written into the program next week, or if this episode is the end of my role, or if I'll be given a brand new role, or, so we laughed and we cried about the absurdity and the craziness of it. And basically what is going on for most of us, we finally realized we don't need to know. It's okay not to know. But in my very last group, I was with two very heady gentlemen who really, from other parts of the planet, fascinatingly, who were really stuck in, but I think we should look at politics. I think we should look at this in the term of science. I think we should look at this in the terms of religion. I mean, they brought forth these different, and I was like, which to me feel like all systems that are falling away. So I listened. But I was like, where's my fractal families in the other groups where I felt like, shit, we have no idea what we're doing.
No, it's really interesting. Yesterday, I pulled a card, and it was all about the void, and it was the darkness of just infinity, right? It was, we don't know. We're in the dark. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe. And when you need to know, your body will tell you and you'll take a step. But right now, just chill out. Don't try to force anything to happen. And that's really when I think, like, part of me, I know that this is how I am designed. It's like I feel like I gotta create something or do something. And then sometimes it's really, slow down. It's all in its own unfoldment. There's no race. Where are we going?
Well, yeah. And then I get into judgy mode because it's like, oh, really? You think you're just supposed to do nothing today? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I get all like, well, why don't you know what you're supposed to be doing? And I'm like, so I continue on my path of going through old stuff and throwing things out. I mean, I'm kind of doing my own physical clean out.
Yeah, me too.
I'm hoping is doing a mental clean out. So I know that all that programming of having to work to earn to earn money, to create value in my life so that I can be seen as valuable, all that is BS. That is falling away. But man, it's like those last little tendrils of when you've got the flu and it's that last night where your fever spikes, it just feels really ugly and like I'm holding on, man. And I'm like,
yeah, just let it flow through.
Yeah. So to speak about this in terms of the truth teller, as the truth teller, how does weaving teamwork and understanding play in that?
I believe as the truth teller, they're here sharing that voice, their voice. And as they do, their fractal family comes. And when that happens, I mean, when you think about the work of the four, which is all on understanding, its citic state is forgiveness. So it's here to help heal this illusion of separateness, or what was it? Intolerance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's the pulse and interference.
Right.
For the actual gene key of her purpose.
And being able to heal that and come with welcoming, open arms to all that is here to receive.
Yeah.
Understanding, forgiveness, love.
And
And
without feeling it has to look a certain way.
exactly. I mean, I can feel the energy in my hands right now. It's just
Mhm.
so beautiful to receive that light and that love from that being. And what's beautiful about that being her purpose, it's grounded in earth energy.
Oh.
So
Oh.
she is here, and we can just feel that beautiful essence of her.
I meant yesterday as I was doing some what I tend to do, kind of light weaving. Um, I, I felt like I wanted to look up the mudras, and I haven't done that. So if there's a part that you want to talk about while I do this really quickly, I apologize for
Oh
not
no,
being
that's
prepared.
okay. When we talk about the truth teller, it's interesting in human design. If we look at her, it's the gate is truth. 40,
Really?
44 is truth. Yeah. And this is found in the spleen system, the splenetic system. And so it's about understanding your own intuitive nature and the patterns of your intuitive nature. And it is there to help remove any kind of limited or stuck energy. It, yeah.
So, okay. So I'm really curious. So, how does the truth, well, that to me also is a very clear tone,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like that our unique expression, which is only ours. I mean, don't
Right.
they say that our vocal, um, a clip of us speaking can be used as a like a signature key,
Mm-hmm.
like a fingerprint,
Right.
because it's so unique. I mean,
Right.
isn't that true?
Yes. Um, but the truth teller's purpose is truth, and it's there to clear out any kind of restricted or constricted belief patterns. And so how powerful is that? It's um its gate is um in the self-actualization center, and it's in the intuitive awareness of all kinds of patterns that exist. And it's really beautiful. It's helping people align with their more authentic awareness of themselves. And it's related to the clairfactient, which is like you smell when something's off.
Oh, yeah.
And so it helps to align. And yeah, I love that this being is anchored in that. And
So, so to play with the highest state, forgiveness and synarchy.
mm,
I just want to play. I mean, I know that each of these words was
yeah,
chosen to have multiple layers of meaning, and I would like to play with what is synarchy. To me, that just feels like heaven because
yeah,
it just means like everybody gets to play in that space. Um,
yes. And when it plays with the gate of the four, which is forgiveness, it also in human design, it's possibility. That's the gate. And in the I Ching, as Richard refers to, it's the youthful folly. So how delicious is that, right? When we're playing in synarchy with just lightness, youthful folly, and it feels very effervescent to me.
Pretty
How about
beautiful.
you?
So I love that 44, this synarchy, and I do this a lot. I don't know if it makes a difference which way, but he's got our hands, kind of like where you can see how everything's coming together, and there's a strength. That's why when we're, wanting to carry something, we lock our hands together. But this is kind of more of a weaving, and then there's space between, so there's room for everybody to breathe and be, right? So this is what synarchy, the mudra, is, which is funny because I use this symbol I do it all the time when I'm talking, and I had no idea that it was the mudra for this. So, and the other one, I can't hear the teaching without playing it out loud for everybody, which I could probably do, but it is about being like, forgiveness is basically standing with your hands open and your head slightly bowed in a way of, I am here, humbled and open in front of you. There's nothing, I'm not hiding. I'm here to be with you completely. So it's if we can combine those, then it would be basically like, I would maybe put this in my lap and just be in a receptive, almost in a meditative space of, here I am.
And all the possibilities.
Oh my goodness. And to stop, I just want to stop the searching, stop the wanting to understand, stop all of that. We played with that a month ago when we played in the arrivals lounge,
right.
and I can feel that it's spinning back up again. And so I'm wanting to drop back in, because when I'm in the present moment, I don't need to know anything. I don't have to have a plan of where I'm going.
No.
Well,
and I think so often we get dissatisfied because we're trying to get somewhere really fast. And when we can stay present with ourselves, we can do the little actions.
Right. So one of the things that came up yesterday in our discussions, and I loved this, is we have expectations. Like, this is what's supposed to happen. This is the way it's supposed to look. Right. This is what I'm going to go on this trip, and it's going to look like this, because that's what my plan says. I'm going to be here on this day. Well, what if things happen and that isn't the way it worked? So there's expectations, which are extrapolating out into the future.
Right.
But a lot of times based on our experience. And then there's the actual experience, which, when we're living into the experience, can way outshine the expectations.
Exactly. That's why it's
and then can we just
accept loosely?
Absolutely. Yeah. And to just drop into the acceptance of, okay, what you got for me? Yeah.
It's
the big difference of experiencing versus just marching through life because you're on some kind of a, I don't know, crusade.
I always like playing with having expectancy without expectations, because that it can be super delicious, but you don't know exactly what's on the menu.
Right. And there's a difference of knowing that there's something beautiful and delicious out there, just knowing that.
Yeah.
And then having this, and I remember in the days where we used to do visioning, remember you used to write out, to describe in detail, what does that vacation look like? And I'm like, don't do that to me anymore.
No.
Of course, I thought when I wrote out that I was going to be living on water, that it would be like big water versus a river. So, that's okay. I got the living on water. I still get to see moving water every day, but I do feel such a different level of power and openness when I'm on at the coast, right? And seeing, John called it big water, and I love that. It's big water. So, how do we want to close this beautiful chapter? Oh, let's introduce what's coming next with our
Yeah.
inspiration.
And I'll grab a deck. I'm feeling a deck.
Okay, that'd be great. So I would like to just let you know that our following and final week of this discussion on the truth teller light being is going to include the wise and gifted and beautiful energy of Patricia Wald Hopkins. And I will have a more thorough bio to introduce you to her next time. But it is allowing us to integrate all of this information. How do we step into our truth teller, heal what needs to be healed so that we can share our voice at this time, find our fractal family, build that teamwork so that we can go in the direction of synarchy.
Yeah. Top, middle, or bottom?
Top.
Right on. Ooh, star ancestors.
Yes.
So this week we get to play in star ancestors.
And
this is all about hidden secrets, lost wisdom. So look a little deeper. And let's see.
I think that's so funny because I've been asking for that.
Some support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how it was going to come. I didn't know it was going to come through a card.
Well, it's funny because I'm also feeling a little bit of light language, feeling like it wants to come through. But let me read this to you for you can take a look at the picture. So, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. The ancients knew much more than we do about our connection with the stars. Their pyramids, temples, and other places of worship created the precise alignment with the stars existing in all corners of the world. What if this ancient wisdom is available to you or for you to uncover now? You're being called to think and listen with your ancient heart and soul, to tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knowing blooms in your heart. All potent power pumps through your veins. You're being invited to step into your ancient knowingness, to be held by the rememberings of your star ancestors, to look a little deeper. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling called to do something different, to change your point of view, creativity happens when we put two things together that don't belong. When we do the unexpected, so often a creative solution is right in front of us. But because we think the same thoughts and act the same ways, we miss what's in the open. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions, technology and wisdom that are so needed on the planet right now, to unlock your soul's memories at a time when we lived in harmony on the earth and one day will again. So just focus on this card and say, I'm ready to remember ancient mysteries and secrets deep from within. And just put your hand on your heart for just a moment. I'm just going to share a light code, and you can accept this into your heart if this is what you feel called to. If not, that's okay. You just let it just move through you. Isia kostia sarako antikia itutututututu ishichi onja ntura kititi anadakor kotati anadarki akatotatarena totatiria usukutatai chuchu ikikikar kotatiamar kotiasa adi ini nini 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 otota isia sukutatiria ota ikikikiar kotatea nunanea nunana nuna 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 nina nunana unkuchitidia sototarea ua ntutu ai kikiarako. Just a little light code that's coming through, clearing that space, allowing you to open just a little wider into your heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is.